Welcome to the Peabody Business Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Ryder. I serve as Chief of Staff to Mayor Ted Betancourt, as well as the city's business liaison and the city's representative on the Peabody Area Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. Now, the podcast is designed to spotlight local businesses and nonprofits by having a conversation with the business owner or an executive and learning more about their product or services, as well as some of the community service aspects, as many local businesses give back to the city of Peabody and the region in so many ways. I am so happy to be joined today by Steve and Lori Morad. Now, Steve and Lori are the owners of one of the region's great small businesses, Mr. Handyman of Southern Essex County. Steve and Lori, welcome to the Peabody Business Podcast. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much for having us, Chris.
Yes, thank you very much for having us.
Well, why don't we get right into it? Why don't you tell our listeners about Mr. Handyman and the services you offer?
Okay, Chris. So, Mr. Handyman, we're, like you said, a local business right here in Peabody, and we provide a professional handyman in construction and repair service for local businesses, local residents, all across the northern part of Boston, North Shore Boston. We are employees. We use our own employees. We don't use subcontractors. The employees are all bonded, background checked to give you a very safe experience. I am a licensed contractor, and we really want to make our customer experience a frictionless experience. So the biggest thing we want to do is make it easy use, be professional, and send a professional to your home or business.
We also do a lot of work in commercial industry businesses around the areas that we service in the North Shore Mall. And, you know, as Steve said, we're insured, licensed insured, fully insured as well.
Well, I want to start with kind of the history of the business and how it came about, because as a couple, it's interesting that you're co-owners of business right off the bat, but I'm sure there's an interesting story behind how it all came about. People love to hear about that thing, especially with our local business community. So how did Mr. Handyman of South Essex County come about?
So it's been 20 years in business, which is really hard to believe that we've been doing this for 20 years. But back around 2005, we were both in the corporate world, and we decided that we wanted to do something a little bit different, that we wanted to kind of control our own destiny. My background is financial services to start, so I spent many years in the financial service industry and customer service. And one of the biggest things I think that I saw the opportunity for is to bring the professionalism, what I always call the frictionless experience for the consumer, and use in a home repair or business repair service. That's the big reason why we get into this. We show up when we say we're going to show up. We call you. We confirm appointments. We call to say thank you. We do everything we can to put the customer first and give the customer the best experience.
Sure. Well, I think one of the things that I appreciate about Mr. Handyman as a customer is, there are some jobs that could take a long time to do yourself. Do-it-yourself work is very popular because people want to try and save money. But there's some projects that can take a long time for someone like myself. So to have a Mr. Handyman local, to be able to say, hey, I've got a project here that's really going to help out in the kitchen, or it's going to help out in our mud porch or something like that. But for me, that could be a 2 to 3 day project over a couple of weekends. But to have a professional like yourself, Steve, and the team members that you have come in and to be able to give you a time frame and a good estimate of what it's going to cost. And like you said, the follow-up service was very much appreciated by my wife and I. So I think people can really appreciate that aspect of it. And even as a do-it-yourselfer, there are times when you just don't want to do it yourself. So I appreciate that. Who are your customers? You mentioned other small businesses. Do you typically find yourself in the homes of young families, empty nesters, et cetera?
Well, pretty much everyone's our customer, Chris. I mean, honestly, anyone who could use a handyman in their home or in their, it could be a restaurant, it could be any type of commercial service. We're all over. And like Steve was mentioning, we service east of Route 93 all the way up to the New Hampshire border. So we've got about 8 vans all over the place every day.
Interesting. And you were both in the corporate world. Steve, How long have you had? You said you're is it a master? Um,
Yep, I've got my master in taxation. So I always kind of joke how many people you know that have their construction supervisor license and a master in taxation.
Okay.
It's a little bit different.
yeah.
But, what I've always found is everything we've done in life has been a learning and a growth experience. So the more you can learn, the more you can grow. And, when things go wrong, we don't look at them as failures. We look at them as educational moments, or what I'll call teachable moments.
Sure.
So we can always learn from that and move forward.
Should people have a size of a project that they should be thinking about when it comes to Mr. Handyman? We're not talking about full additions to homes and things like that. People should really have in mind what kind of projects. Give me an example of in a home rather than a business.
Sure. I mean, we'll do small projects, something as simple as install window air conditioners for people. I mean, a lot of elderly people who just can't lift air conditioners, or people just don't want to do it or don't have the time to do it. We've done large projects such as kitchens and baths. And the people that use us for those projects, we're finishing one up here in Peabody right now, is that, I get off the phone with a woman today, and she just talked about how great the guys were, how a pleasure it was to have them in the home. And that's great to hear. Not only do they do great work, but they're neat, they're clean, they treat your home, better than their own sometimes. So, and it's something we drive on all the time.
Yep. And listen, contractors in general and all the trades, they're very busy people. They're juggling a lot. They're trying to get projects prioritized, finished. They're working with their own staff, and some of the challenges that I don't have to tell you come up with when you're managing your own staff. So it can be an encounter that isn't always as comfortable for the homeowner with a contractor. So when a Mr. Handyman exists to kind of put your mind at ease, not only are you going to be able to get some important work done, but you're going to be treated well. They're going to show up when they say they're going to. They're going to call. You're going to get an estimate. These are simple things, it would seem, but because of the nature of the contracting business, some people are intimidated to call somebody to come into the house and do some work. So I think it's a great service that you offer. I want to mention a couple of quick things. One is that, Lori, you're 51% owner of this company, which makes Mr. Handyman of Southern Essex County or South Essex County a woman-owned business. Talk a little bit about the importance of that.
Yes, well, I think it's really important to have a woman-owned business. We service a lot of women, and I do a lot of the. I go to a lot of the red ribbon ceremonies in the area for new businesses. Sure. I love to build relationships with our community. We really love being out there in the community every day as much as possible. I even try to meet with new owners and people who have been in business and showcase them on our different social media platforms. And that's what we love to do. We love being a part of our community. Sure.
Well, I want to ask you about two specific activities that you do in the community, and then I want to give people the opportunity to learn how to contact Mr. Handyman, potential customers, people who could use your services. But first and foremost, you are longtime members of the Peabody Area Chamber of Commerce. Talk about the benefits of a Chamber of Commerce membership, specifically here in the Peabody area.
Being a member of the Chamber of Commerce is very important, because I think the biggest thing is you get like-minded people that you can talk to, you can network with, you can get to know, you can support. And being a small business, sometimes we're on an island and we're the only ones there. So it's, in a big corporation, there's layers and layers. We don't really have that. So it's great to have other business owners or other people who we can relate to. And the other piece of it that's really important is relationships we've made. We've been able to refer to other people, other businesses that we know, like, and trust. Mm-hmm. And that's been through the chamber. Referring companies that, like Aflac, for example, a number of times, that can help other local businesses that they just don't know about. So becoming that resource for people, I think that's how you build community, is you're the resource, you're the go-to person. And Lori does a phenomenal job of that, being out in the community, being out with even the technicians, visiting the customers. It's really important that we, keep showing up, and 80% is showing up.
Sure, of course. And that's how Lori and I met, was at a ribbon cutting for a chamber member. And we've seen each other at several of them going forward. Those are great events, specifically for new businesses just starting out. They get the benefit of a ribbon cutting, which is often attended by the mayor or someone from the mayor's staff. In my case, as business liaison, very often I'll attend. The newspaper will sometimes cover the event and bring some much-needed publicity to a new small business. So I think that's another great benefit of the chamber. I also wanted to ask, as I mentioned at the start of the show, many small businesses give back to the community in many ways, and I know that's an important value for your company. Talk about what you do to give back.
Well, most recently, Chris, we did a day of service on September 11th, a day of service for a veteran in need. And we did all types of things that he needed to have done and wasn't able to do it, as far as replacing storm doors and windows and a variety of different home projects. So it was really great because our whole team got together. They were able to come in and do all the things that they love to do around the home for this gentleman.
That's great. That sounds like a great company day of service. It's really nice to hear that you do that, and we appreciate that, certainly, as a community. Let's talk about how people can reach Mr. Handyman of South Essex County for all their handy needs in terms of a website, other social media. Why don't you kind of give us the rundown? First of all, where are you located physically?
We physically sit at 179 Lake Street in Peabody, and we are on all social media platforms. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, and we are on there quite a bit. We're posting different projects that we do. We have a lot of 5-star Google reviews as well, but you can check them all out on our website.
Great. Can you give us the name, the website?
Mr. Handyman of South Essex County.
Mr. Handyman of South Essex County.
Yes.
.com.
That's our website.
Yep. It's mrhandyman.com.
Yep.
And then just put your zip code in, and you'll find us.
And you'll find us.
So what I like to tell people, Chris, is there's only one tool that you need in your toolbox, and that's your smartphone to look up Mr. Handyman.
That's great. That's great. Well, listen, Steve and Lori, I want to thank you very much for joining us on the Peabody Business Podcast. The name of their company, folks, is Mr. Handyman of South Essex County. They can be reached through their website. Just go to Mr. Handyman and put in the zip code. It'll bring you to the Essex County version, which is ours. They're located on 179 Lake Street. They can also be found on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and, of course, their website. Folks, thanks for joining us. Good luck, and thank you for being part of our community.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Chris.
for having us.